We are live. Hello, everybody, from us and Handi Quilter in Salt Lake and MK at MK Studio. MK Quilts, this is the studio. You're at MK Quilts. Welcome, guys.
Welcome to Florida.
Hello there.
I'm not looking outside right now, but hopefully it's a sunny day in Florida.
Paul, come on, Florida.
Come on the camera, Paul, just to wave and say hi. Here's Mr. MK, as he's affectionately known. He'll come back into view later. So, of course, this is my other half, my dynamic duo, Ellen and
Hello.
and she's just like resharing the feed over to some of our groups and pages. So
we're just getting set up here as people kind of trickle in. So really no rush.
Yeah, and we just had the shop open today. We do have a class going on, so we're just going to peek in there so you can see and the ladies can wave. But yeah, we just opened, and we're in the middle of a shop hop right now here in the state of Florida.
Ooh.
So as we go through the shop, there may be some customers, which is a good thing for us.
Customers in
share
a shop.
to everybody at once. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just going to go to like 7 groups at all the same time.
So tell me about this shop hop, actually. Like, what is that?
So it's coordinated by a group, and I forget where they're out of. Somewhere up in the
Midwest something, because they do multiple states.
Yeah, they're an official group that coordinates shop hops for the different regions throughout the United States.
Oh my gosh.
Which is great for us because we want to be included, but we don't have to like coordinate and organize the whole thing.
It's lovely.
Yeah, so they take care of like a lot of the promotion. They do the printing of the magazines and, just all kinds of stuff. And then for 2 months, Florida is a very big state, so and there's I don't know between 60 and 70 shops.
Yeah, I think it hit 68 this year.
Yeah, it's really a big area to cover Florida. So to give the quilters enough time to go like all the way from the Keys, all the way up through the state and then out into the Panhandle.
Yeah, Florida's big.
It's big. So they give us 2 months and they come with their little magazines, just like a passport if you were going to another country, and we sticker it, and then they have the opportunity for drawings and prizes.
Yeah,
they
based on how many places they go, how many regions they finish. There's a whole bunch of different levels.
Yeah, last year or the year before, I forget. Time flies, but we actually auctioned or we gave away a sit-down, a stationary.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, when what was the name of the
Capri?
Capri, yes.
Capri.
Thank you, Ellen. Mm-hmm. When the Capri was kind of going out, we had like one left in stock, and so we just made that a big giveaway from MK Quilts that year. So
you just sent someone off of their shop hop a very happy quilter.
Yeah, I think our winner was from Jacksonville area.
Oh my gosh.
He was so excited, brought her car and came right
that was
down.
Our only caveat is you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So tell me about the shop. Tell me about how long you guys have been in business. Tell me about what you do, what you love. Let's go.
Okay, so we are going to walk you through the main part of the shop, but we thought we'd start here. We opened up MK Quilts in this physical location at the very end of 2016. So I can't even believe that's going to be 10 years ago this year. And that is when we became retailers for Handi Quilter. So prior to that, I was looking through my pictures and thinking about when I really got started long arming was this month, so the month of March back in 2008.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so my very first machine was a Handi Quilter 16, no pro stitcher on that it was like that banquet style table where with the white track and you had to clamp the ends on. I mean, it was like old school, but that's what that y'all had, and that was in my house. Then I moved to my garage, and then eventually we came here in 2016 when we became retailers. And then along the way, I hired Ellen. Ellen, how long have you been with me now?
I started in 2019, in March this week, actually. It's my little anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So Ellen started with me because by that time I was really going full bore with my teaching and my traveling.
Yeah, she was never here.
We'll talk about that later, but I really got into teaching and traveling and doing all of my content and stuff, but I was on the road, so I needed somebody back here to long arm. So that's when Ellen came along.
Yep.
Because I needed help, honestly.
Yeah, I started long arming in 2012 on Invante.
Oh my gosh!
And
Always a Handi
I
quilter.
knew of Ellen because, you know, when you're quilters, you travel in smaller circles.
Yeah.
And so I knew Ellen and her mom, and I just thought Ellen would be a good fit for the shop, and timing just worked out. And she was already a long armor at that point, so
Yep.
that was wonderful. Now I did teach her a thing or two about Pro Stitcher, but
So I am all free motion and rulers. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
gosh!
I'm gonna turn that computer off.
she
Hey,
does most
it's
of
a
the
tra-
time.
It's a trade. Like it is an art to be able to do free motion and rulers, as much as it is an art to do Pro Stitcher. But
Yeah.
it's so cool that you have both someone who like specializes in it and then someone who's like, I'm all the free motion over here.
Yeah, and actually we have a couple, maybe 2 or 3 samples when we get down to the long arm studio. We can show you some of Ellen's work, of
Yes,
course, some of
please.
mine. But back to the shop, really when the shop started to grow was during COVID times. It was in 2020, I think we
2020,
brought
we
in
got-
our first fabric.
Yep.
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
A lot of shops around us were closing down, so it was something we knew we wanted to start getting. We started with wide backs because we were quilters, and then it was like, well, what if we get some solids? And then what
Yeah,
if
we
we
did
get
mixers.
some blenders?
Yeah.
And what if we did this? And what if we
Just sprinkle it
make
in, just add a
hole
little
through the
bit more.
wall and go into the next space?
Yeah, so it really has transformed the shop. Now we're in 4,000 square feet here, and we have we're a full service quilt shop. So we have kits and fabric and, you know, everything,
Amazing.
classes. But that just really, I didn't start that way with the retailership. That just kind of all grew.
It
And
was all her idea. I still remember the day. What if we became a quilt shop? And
What if we did this?
do you know what that means?
I really didn't. And Paul is like shaking his head
Do you
also
know
because
what that means?
not only do we have a ton of money wrapped up in inventory as far as Handi Quilter goes, but just the shop itself is, you know, the inventory is
Oh, absolutely.
a lot.
It's
But
a
it's
totally different
great.
kind of overhead.
It's a lot of overhead, but Ellen's getting more involved with that now. Thank you, Ellen. So making sure that we kind of control that.
Control that overhead.
Yeah, and you know, keep the vendors paid is always a good thing. So, but anyways, that's how we grew. Just out of a spare bedroom in my house, being a long armor, adding on Pro Stitcher, learning that thing inside and out, beginning with my training and stuff we'll talk about later, and then the shop. I mean, it's just really super fun. Paul came on board. He can talk about that when we're in the Long Armor Studio, but he came on board full time with MK Quilts in 2017 after his employment shifted at that time, and he can tell you more about his experience. But Paul handles more the tech side, web stuff, service support, all the technical side of the house with accounting. He just reminded me. So we like to say that I'm the CEO and Paul is the CEE, which is chief of everything else. So he does it all really. But between the 3 of us, we're kind of the top staff here. We have a really great team, and I think we're unique in our industry because we kind of cover it all: training, support, service. We have the online stuff. We've got, you know, the shop now. So it's really, we are truly full service.
When you say online stuff, tell people what you mean.
Well, we have the online store.
Yeah, I mean, you can shop with us online as well, but it's our online university education.
Yes. So
Tell us more. I'm sure, like, if we have a lot of quilters in here, they probably have heard about MK University. But for like anybody who hasn't, or anybody who's just trying to find the right like education for them, what is the MK University?
Well, so really that started as an outshoot of my travel and training. So when I really got deep into Pro Stitcher, I started taking it on the road, and I kind of was thinking of being an educator with Handi Quilter, but that kind of the timing wasn't right, didn't really work out. And so I just became an independent freelancer, and I just went on the road and started teaching. I would do small sessions online. I would quilt all day, and then I would do small group sessions online in combination with my travels.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
then my technical husband, Mr. MK, said, we need to start bundling this stuff, and you need to start making videos that we can sell on some sort of a training platform. So he did all of that research, and we started with a site, a few of my videos, and I mean, that all went like gangbusters. I mean, just, you know,
exploded.
Yeah, because people so many times, I mean, Handi Quilter obviously has wonderful education opportunities, But to find somebody like that will be in your town, sometimes
Yes.
that's, you
That's
know,
harder.
it's a challenge.
Mhm.
So I would do that. Plus I would have this online. And
Mhm.
before we had all of our newer technology, I was using WebEx. I think it was
Oh
called
my
WebEx.
gosh, yes.
Yeah, that was a few moons ago. And I would just do it that way. And then we bundled the videos. We started selling the videos. And then I got too many videos for this other platform. So now we have a wonderful new platform. The underlying host site is called Thinkific, but it really is the host platform for all of the content that I do online, and that is called MK Quilts University. It is a membership platform. Of course, our owners, people who buy machines from us, they have the opportunity to get that bundled with their purchase.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, but I mean, there are people on my training platform from all over the globe,
Oh, I
really.
believe it.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter where you are to be a member of MK Quilts University. So
Anybody
it,
can learn.
it's really great. We'll talk more about that when we get down there, but let's tour the rest of the
Show
shop.
us the shop.
Yes, so
Yeah,
let's
so-
just peek in on the
So when you
class.
come to MK Quilts from the outside, it's a little confusing because we literally have 5 doors.
That's so many doors.
Yeah. So one of the doors is our classroom that we have sit and sews. We have Quilts of Valor groups. We have a group doing paper piecing this morning. Hello. Ladies. And all. So we try to fill this group as much as possible. We have an annual Black Friday mystery class that we do that the group gets full. And then last year we had 40 virtual students
Oh my gosh.
as well. So that's kind of one of our favorite events.
Yeah, so you guys can get, we actually don't even have our pattern and stuff
Chosen
picked
yet.
for this year, but keep watch and you can join us virtually from anywhere and do a mystery quilt with us on Black Friday.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that'd be
right
so
now we're
exciting.
in what we call door number 3,
Mhm.
which is our holiday room, our blenders, and all of our wide backs for our long arm quilting.
You have multiple fabric rooms is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
multiple, yes.
Behind that door over there is, we call it the den. It's our office, so we both have a desk in there. There's also an Amara 20 with Pro Stitcher in there. I'm not sure the cleanliness of it right now, so just
It's not bad.
It's not bad,
but
There's
it's
some
not
office space.
orderly.
yeah, so I did want to mention that part of MK Quilts University is 2 things that some of the members that are watching might want to check out. The first one is on Monday nights, a couple of times a month, we do a live Q&A. So Paul and I get on, and if you got a question about Handi Quilter machine, service, technical stuff, Pro Stitcher, designer, I mean, whatever you got a question about, we get on live for an hour and answer the questions. And then Ellen and I do about, it's kind of coming down to maybe once a month on a Wednesday from the den. We do kind of podcast style, and we pick a topic and we just like teach you something about some quilting topic.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So check that out on MK Quilts University if you're interested in any of the training that we mentioned.
For anybody who joins MK Quilts University, are those past recordings available so they could rewatch
Yes, they
or
are.
re-listen?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so for the most part, things are not downloadable.
Right.
But as long as you're a member, you get access to almost everything that we create. And almost everything that we create is recorded, and then you can catch it on the replay if you can't
Perfect.
join it live. Yep.
Okay, we're moving into door number 2, which is our main entrance to our shop. This is where we keep all of our collections, our notions, our rulers, our projects, our class samples, and things where you're going to find the most inspiration.
Oh my
And if you want any of the fabric kits, anything you see in the shop, it's shop.mkquilts.com.
Yes.
I mean, basically, you can find us through our main website to any of the other shoot-off platforms. It's just mkquilts.com.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
you can go to any of the
Yeah,
other.
you'll find all of us.
Yes.
And then moving into the room where it all began, door number 1, the long arm room.
I'm going to make a little bit of a stop here at our pin map to let everybody know that this was actually inspired by Handi Quilter. The very first time I went to Handi Quilter, they have at corporate a little pin map. It used to be down in a hallway. Well, now they've moved it out into the lobby. It's a huge wall, so you can kind of see where your shop and retailership is. But this is all of our owners that have bought machines from us,
Gosh.
and all the little pins. So we are national retailers, and we sell all over the country.
I love the draping. What have you done? Paul, can you move closer? What have we got going on?
So Florida.
This is Florida.
That is Florida. That's fair.
It's the mustache of Florida.
And then my gosh.
The other pin, and honestly, we haven't updated this in a while, but we do have a pin out here in Hawaii. We don't have anybody in Alaska yet. But we've got machine owners all over the country.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, well, come on into the Long Arm Studio where we have all of our machines.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to get my drink real quick because I'm feeling a tickle in my throat.
So we are, again, quilting service, full service quilt shop. So we have 4 different long arms that we have running every single day. So we can try to get our quilts back to our clients as quickly as possible. We have 2 Amara 20s, 1 Amara 24, and the brand new Infinity 28.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, you guys, if you are considering that, just go for it. Just full on go for it because she is a beauty.
MK, tell me what you love about her.
Well, of course, we love the lift frame. So I love that. Of course, the throat depth and all of that, few extra inches is great. I will tell you that I got the Infinity 26 when it was just being released. So my Infinity is 11 years old. And when I first got the Infinity, I was jumping up to the Infinity from having a Fusion. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I loved my Fusion. I've had 2 of them in my career. I absolutely loved it.
Great machines.
But jumping up from a Fusion into an Infinity, the Infinity class at that time, which 2014, 2015 timeframe, I mean, the laser light, the thread cutter, the programmable handlebars, all of that was just worth the price of admission for me.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So, and now all of that is just gloriously they really learned a lot in these 11, 12 years since the first Infinity came out, and it's just so gloriously re-engineered. It's wonderful. I mean, I'm just in love. So we got ours here in the shop on launch day. So it arrived on the day of launch. So January 12th, I believe that was. So we're 8 weeks in now, a couple months out, and I'm just loving it. My machine, my personal machine for my house just got delivered Friday. I don't know, last week. Yeah, it was earlier I'm losing track of the day. Paul and I were in Alabama on an install, so my machine is waiting at home. That's going to be the topic of
your weekend gift to yourself.
Yes, Mr. MK is ready for that.
I get to set up another machine.
So yeah, this is where all of the magic happens in here on the floor.
This is beautiful. And before we start talking more about that, can you tell us about the event that you guys are about to host?
Yes. So Ellen, hold this up. Maybe take it a little bit closer.
Bring it closer to Paul. Bring it closer to Paul.
Good.
So we this is a little bit of, maybe a surprise and a shock to you, but we've actually in 10 years of being a retailer never had an official Handi Quilter event.
That does shock me a little bit. I won't lie.
I mean, like, what? We've never had a true Handi Quilter event. I mean, I think because I got so deep into doing what I was doing and traveling and the like that I did a lot of that myself. Ellen has done so much for us. We've had events here, but I'm like, as an educator, an independent educator, I feel like there is something to be learned from any class you can ever take. So even as an educator, I will always recommend that you go to an event if you can go. Go to take a class from a Handi Quilter educator. Come to us if you can. Do the university's platform if you can, because you will learn so much.
So many different things.
So many different things. So we're going to have this event in the Villages. Ellen, tell them a little bit about what we got going on there.
So we have 4 days. We have the truck for a full truck event, which means more machines for you to come and play on. Our first day is free motion and rulers. Our second day is all Pro Stitcher. And then our third day is all basically project-based and like specialty feet.
Oh my gosh.
And then our fourth day is basically an open house where we are bringing one of every single machine to the hotel where we're having our event. So you can try out every single size to see what fits you perfectly.
So if someone was like, I want a Handi quilter, but I do not know which machine is right for me, they definitely want to go to that day.
Yes. Yep. And this is in a community. And when I say community, you need to think on very large, grand scale. So if you're not familiar with Florida in this community called the Villages, it is, I think it's the biggest retirement community in the United States. I mean, it is massive. It's still growing. They have one official quilt guild, as I understand it. So one main guild, and then they have
40.
chapters.
30?
30 different chapters under this one guild. So there is a massive amount of quilters in the Villages, is the point of this. So we just, you know, being in Florida and being a national retailer, we just thought, let's get up there in the Villages and have Handi Quilter come in. So we are going to have Christina Whitney. She, you guys all know Christina. I mean, she used to be a studio educator. Now she's a national educator. She travels like all the other national educators. She's fantastic. I met her for the first time in person out at, actually, I met Christina when she first became an educator. I don't know if she'll remember that, but she was coming on as an educator at the same time that I was kind of doing some stuff with Handi Quilter, and they brought me out there to do some stuff. So I met her way back in the day. It was like 2016-ish time frame.
Oh my gosh, so when you were just starting to open the shop and everything.
Yes, yes. And then I met her again in person when I taught at Academy 2 summers ago. So, and then we're also having Nick Turcan. He's from Canada. Nick is just a whole ball of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just a lot of fun, and he's coming in to team teach with Christina across those 3 days. So, and I met Nick at Academy too, 2 summers ago. So super excited to have, and we are about maybe halfway sold.
About half sold on all of our classes.
That's pretty fabulous. Remind everybody what the dates were. I don't think you said the date.
So we have April 8th through the 11th to be held at the Villages in sunny Florida.
So if someone was looking for an excuse to go to Florida, this is the moment.
Yes. And lots of people always are interested, like, where are we physically? And then in relation to Disney, because it seems like everybody who's coming to Disney wants to go see the mouse and all his friends over there. So we are on the west coast of Florida. So Florida is kind of like this, Panhandle, Florida, and about halfway down is a little inlet there on a map. That's Tampa Bay. So we're in the Tampa Bay area. We're on the Gulf side of Florida. So West Central is what we would call it. And if you want to come see us, that's great. If you want to combine that with the mouse, it's going to be about 2.5 hours to get over to Orlando from where we are. All right.
Into the Disney bubble.
Yeah, a couple hours up to the Villages, even 1.5 hours, 2 hours up to the Villages where our event is going to take place.
Is the Villages more north towards the Panhandle?
North Central.
North Central. Yes. Yep.
Wonderful. All right. So I think that covers the shop, that covers the event. We'll talk about that again towards the end. I would love to hear more about how, like, both of you started your quilting journeys. Like, if MK wants to talk about it, and Ellen, I want to hear about both of you.
All right. So I started, I'm not sure how many people are watching, or show of hands, but, you know, raise your hand, drop a little emoji if you learned how to quilt in high school in home economics class. That was me. I'm a little bit older than her.
I love that.
Okay, so I started sewing back in high school, back in the 80s. And, you know, then fast forward, I made some garments, made clothes and stuff for my daughter when she was little. But eventually I met friends locally once we moved to Florida who were in a local quilt guild. And they invited me to come to Quilt Guild. So I really just got an invitation to a local guild. And then I started like a mad woman watching Eleanor Burns, you know, Alex Anderson, like anything I could find on television and through my guild. And that's how I really got started. And again, back in the day when we were quilting what we made, a lot of us started with that walking foot, a lot of straight line quilting, just echo quilting on our domestics. Well, along the way, I spied long arms. Okay. And back in that time, like the early 90s, there was only like a couple that you would be focusing on. And so we really didn't have a lot of choices in the long arm industry. But Handi Quilter was one of those choices, and I went to a quilt guild show, a local guild show. There was a Handi Quilter retailer there, and I was so excited. I was like, I want that. I really want that. So I called Paul on the phone. He's sitting over there on the chair just like laughing because I was so excited. I'm like, Paul, here's the deal. And if I get the table, if I do it now, this is what the deal is with finance. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm so excited, so excited. And he's like, Melissa, calm down and buy the thing. I'm like, okay, goodbye. And so I just bought it not knowing anything. I didn't know anything. I just knew that I had a desire to do it. And that was in 2008.
How did you learn? What was your entry into learning how to use this machine?
Well, my retailer my retailer at the time was 2 hours away from where I lived, and she had like a monthly club. So that was a good thing. I mean, I drove 2 hours one way once a month and then 2 hours home because I needed education. I needed to know how to do it. So I really give hats off to her. She's no longer even in the state, but I did that. Handi Quilter and the famous Vicki Hoth was you guys were just kind of launching your YouTube channel. So I watched Vicki, anything that Vicki put out, I watched.
A classic.
Yeah, and then really where my aha moment came was after I had just gotten my Infinity. So 2015, I went out to Handi Quilter Academy and I got a roommate. It was a load of money, but I just felt like I am an intermediate and I'm happy with what I've learned, but I needed to take it to the next level. So I went to Handi Quilter Academy, and that was when I had this explosion, like, oh my gosh, I get it. Like, and that's when I took off with my teaching and training and all of that. But
what do you think clicked for you? Do you think it was like being around more people, different techniques?
Oh, no, that year in 2015 is when simulation was introduced.
Aha.
Okay, so I didn't even know why I would want simulation on my laptop. I'm like, okay, great. I can have the software on my laptop. Okay, great. I'll put it on my laptop. I have no idea why, but I'm going to put it on my I'm going to put it on my laptop. I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to go out to Salt Lake City. And I was sitting in class with, you know, some of your top educators that are always there at Academy. I know you've changed things a little bit now, but I mean, I was just sitting in class going, oh, I understand what she's saying. And now I get it. And now I have simulation and now I have it on my laptop. And I mean, it was like, if you could have seen me in class that day, the lightning bolt struck me. I just understood how to use simulation as more of a design tool and an education tool. And that's really what did it for me. I mean, I just took off from there. And shortly after that was 2016, Handi Quilter invited me out. Some of the old timers, I'd say that with respect because I'm an old timer. Some of the old timers will remember Handi Quilter used to produce this show called the Long Arm Quilted Show. And Jody Davis was the host, and you guys would bring in just educators, not even Handi Quilter people, like any long armers, and you would focus and film. And so Handi Quilter invited me out in 2016 because I was doing something new and different with the simulation product. So again, that's like 10 years ago. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe that simulation has been around 10 years. But I will tell you God's honest truth. If I had a Bible right here, I would put my hand on it and swear. I use simulation at some level with every single quilt that I do. Even all the way from edge to edge, it starts with simulation. Any of the custom work that we do, we have one on the frame today. I just spent a little bit of time this morning doing a little layout, a little bit of simulation so that I can see where the path of where we're going to go with this quilt. And so everything that I do now starts at some level with simulation.
Can you explain how you use simulation differently, or what was really kind of innovative about your approach to simulation?
Yeah. So, Ellen, hold your
sorry, I know, Ellen, we're just sort of like, Ellen, I want to hear about you. Hold, please.
Yeah. So the very first thing that I ever did with simulation was whole cloth layouts. So when I went to Handi Quilter that summer to Academy, I really wanted to learn my system better, and I wanted to learn about whole cloth. Now, at the time, our Pro Stitchers were bundled with a different piece of software. Now we have Pro Stitcher Designer, but it was that other piece of software that I wanted to learn about, and it was a whole cloth class. And so as I was sitting there in the whole cloth class, it began to become immediately aware to me that she's using this other piece of software, but I'm pretty sure I could do most of what she's doing in Pro Stitcher. And not that I didn't want to learn what she was teaching, but it opened up my eyes to the fact that I could do whole cloth just by using my simulation product. So this is one of the very first whole cloths that I ever did. Now I did a little bit of what she was teaching in the center with this diamond, and I did the carousel tool, but really the rest of it is just using my simulator to lay it out. So if you're ever following me online and I'm talking about the way that I handle simulation, I call it layout and rendering. So I do the layout, I plan it all in simulation, and then I stitch it out. That was another one that I was practicing with Designer. So a lot of this is, I'm trying to delve more into Designer now. But the one thing that I want to tell students, if you're just brand new with your Pro Stitcher and you want to learn it all, and you're so excited and you want to learn that and you want to learn Designer, you have to kind of take it slow in the beginning and learn your Pro Stitcher. Because once you learn your Pro Stitcher and those basic positioning tools that we all use, and your knowledge of how you advance, and like all of a sudden edge to edge leads itself into, oh, well, what if I wanted to add borders? Okay, now I know how to do this. Let's do borders. I set up all my borders in simulation ahead of time. Okay, then what if I want to do like block to block and I've got sashes and the like? It all just kind of starts to happen. You start to get it. But the way that I teach everybody how to use simulation to set up your edge to edge.
I just realized you use simulation like Designer. That's amazing.
Yes, in many ways. And there, I have a contributor on MK Quilts University. Her name is Paco. Some of you are probably recognizing that name, and you watch her and you follow her. She is now my expert with Designer, and I have learned so much from Paco. But there is so much that you can do just with your Pro Stitcher. And then there's little tidbits that you can bring Designer in. Like I use Designer mostly to connect my borders and to tweak little designs that aren't fitting just right on something that I want to stitch. But what you would learn from Paco with Designer is like truly to design with it. Ellen does that too. I mean, they use it in a different way than I do, but it's very powerful the way that they work together. Okay, but lots of what you're seeing of mine, it's Pro Stitcher. And it all started in simulation.
Oh my gosh.
So that's my thing. Probably my most recent. I did a 2-day online live event, which was a whole cloth. So now this is really coming full circle for me. I mean, this obviously is a circle, but
a full circle.
This is a set from A Bit Orange, Celeste, the owner of A Bit Orange. So this is just a set of hers. I downscaled it a little bit so that I could fit it on one width of a 45 fabric. And I just taught everybody how to take those sets and how to stitch them out, because it's one thing to buy a set from somebody, but if you don't know how to organize that, and if they didn't previously organize it together for you, like how do you do that? And then how do I advance and keep that lined up? Like, what I normally say with Pro Stitcher, Ellen, hand me that pink one again, the small one. Something like this, like start with something small, something that fits in your throat space. Okay, now I know some people have the Amara 20s, but that's still a good amount of throat space to start with something small. Okay, so start with something that you don't have to advance. Okay, and get it all laid out and stitch it out. Then your brain is like, okay, well, I want to do something bigger than my throat space. Okay, how do I advance and keep that all lined up? That all has to do with aligning and positioning in different ways than maybe that you do with your edge to edge. I know that Handi Quilter teaches a lot with drag and drop. I don't use drag and drop to do any of my positioning when I'm doing edge to edge. I position different ways. So once you learn different ways to position, alignment, and things like that, and using your start points, once you learn that, then you're not afraid of advancing because you know that there's other ways to align things up. So
that makes sense.
anyway, that's
MK,
how I
real
got
quick,
started.
what was the name of that set from A Bit Orange? Do you remember? It's okay if you don't.
I can send it to you so you can drop it in the comments later.
Perfect.
It's a set that she has 2 different variations of it. One is more of a obviously mine was more feathers. I love feathers, but she has one that's also part of that set that's more straight lines. So I will get you the name of that. I should know it, but I don't. Right.
That's okay. That's okay. Someone just our good friend Sandra Shepard O'Hara just asked, and so we wanted to make sure that she gets to see that set.
Yes, and that particular stitch out, like I said, was a class that I did. I did it as a live event. We stitched together that day. But it was recorded, obviously, so you can go back and like learn how I did that if you're interested.
Oh,
okay. So let's not forget about Ellen.
I was going to say, now I would love to hear about
Ellen's long arm story.
Ellen's journey.
So I have a background in art, and I taught computer animation at the college level for 13 years. So every day I was being creative, but I was on a computer. And it really, really started to get to me. So I started doing just crafting of cross stitch. And then I started making plush toys. And then that kind of took off and I sold at comic conventions. And then my mother was quilting at the time. And it was decided, like, you know, I'm going to surprise her and make her a quilt. Because I never really got the bug. But I'm like, you know what, I'll just do that. And I had no clue at all of what I was doing. And she still has my very first one that I gave her. And I didn't know how to quilt. So I actually wrapped it around a picture frame because that's
so cute. What did you do? Just like a 9-patch? What was your first quilted thing?
It was the very high contrast pink and green 30s fabrics from Joann's.
Ooh.
And it was like a log cabin and then like a pinwheel, like very basic blocks that nothing at all was square. And then I didn't know how to quilt, so I added like puffy paint to it and things. And it's quite a piece of decoration that she absolutely loves and hangs in her room and all. So that kind of got me started. And then she always laughed at me and called me the non-quilter quilter because I would piece all of these tops and then I would just ship them to her so she could quilt them. And then she'd ship them back to me and they'd be all done. And it's like, oh, look, I half made this.
Made part.
Yeah. So then she moved down to be closer to me and my family. And so she's the one that had the Avante. And she's like, come and show you this. And I would go over and, you know, she'd show me and she'd have it all set up and she'd press play. And then I'm like, you just stand here? This is so boring. This is what you love?
This is quilting?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then she told me, well, there is this option. I've never used it, but if you hit this gear button, it turns Pro Stitcher off and you move it yourself. I'm like, oh, okay. This is the stuff. This is quilting. And also now I felt like I was drawing with thread and all. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm hooked. Now I'm hooked.
Yeah. So, Paul, hand us that.
Go over the one over the shoulder first, the sunflower. Nope, the little guy. Take the camera. So this is a Posh Sunflower by So Kind of Wonderful. I'm absolutely in love with curves. But they're great little wall hanging sizes. So that way I did all free motion and rulers on that little guy. So that's kind of my favorite thing is Melissa loves big quilts. I like small quilts. So that way I can do full custom, but not need to be on it for 20 hours.
Yep, exactly. Those tiny little 4 patches are so cute.
Yeah.
Gosh, your stitching's beautiful. Well done.
So then something, as we were kind of saying, we're the dynamic duo that we do all types of the quilting of Melissa with Pro Stitcher simulation, me with free motion and rulers. During COVID, we came up with this idea of quilting play, where we would make the same quilt and then we would both quilt it in our own ways. And we even used Handi Quilter patterns that year because you came out with this whole set of free patterns.
Yeah, there was a whole set. In your world, it was called color play, and they were very
color play era.
Yes, and they were very simple-ish quilts to piece. But then you had some fantastic quilters, like we all remember Marie Eldridge. Oh my gosh, she was a fantastic quilter. So we jump boarded off of that, and we used that series of piecing patterns, and then she would quilt hers free motion. I would quilt mine with Pro Stitcher, and we would do live webinars to keep people engaged during COVID because they were locked up. And now I think we're on 9 or 10. I think this was 9.
This year it's 10.
Yeah, so this year we're going to do quilting play again. So if you'd like to join us, keep watch. And we'll, of course, as a quilt shop, we'll give you the option of buying fabric or a kit or whatever. Or you can get the pattern. You can use your own, of course. But then you tune in with us. We'll give you like a little sneak peek of what we're thinking. And then you come back later and you see our finished quilts. So this was the one we did last year.
This was last year.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Woven Friendship.
Woven Friendship, and it's by my bestie Quilt Co. is the pattern designer. And we have learned over the years, smaller is better.
Yeah.
For us to complete in time.
To finish.
So I did 4 blocks of it, but I did all rulers and all free motion. This
How
has
did you do
a
those
double
giant
back.
Circles? They're amazing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of planning.
Once you do pebbles, you gotta commit. Once you start with pebbles, so it was like, let's do some nice big circles to really break those up.
They're huge.
And all. So I have now an Amara 20. So these are larger than my throat depth. So I did have to kind of really do a lot of math to have everything drawn and plan out before I started quilting to make that circle look continuous.
That's amazing. Without Pro Stitcher, like
no Pro Stitcher
without Pro Stitcher. That's amazing.
So this was my quilting play, same pattern. I did it a little bit larger. I like big quilts, but mine was really all Pro Stitcher. These little postcards are from Carly Porter off of her site.
Classic Carly.
Yep, classic Carly. And then the star blocks were from a designer that lives in New Zealand or somewhere. And then there's some free stuff on here that we have. I mean, I just did mine all Pro Stitcher. I've got a frame block that was not a complete frame. So how did I do that? Connecting my corners. Just the thing with quilting play, I mean, we'd love for you to do quilting play, but if you go back to do the old quilting plays, like we probably don't have those patterns anymore. We don't have that fabric anymore, but you're learning the techniques. And that was always what was our goal was, even if you never made the same quilt that we're making, we're teaching you our thought process and the techniques and like, how do we quilt that?
Yeah. And then this year we invited our contributor Paco to join us for the first time with Quilting Play. So she made one as well, and she used designer completely for it. So she created all of her own designs to fill up hers.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. So quilting play is really, really fun for us. And actually, as shop owners, it's one thing that Ellen and I are always kind of looking with an eagle eye at patterns, at kits that we might want to make in the shop, because we want to sell the fabric and we want to sell the kit, great. But we know that a lot of our followers are long armors, and a lot of them have Pro Stitchers. So we're looking for kits where maybe we can spice up the quilting a little bit and teach you how to do that.
Yeah. So I will say, being the what did we say, 9 years here? 7, whatever.
Well, we started in 2020, but a couple of years we did a couple.
But Pro Stitcher has grown on me slightly. I appreciate Pro Stitcher for borders. I will say I love.
I bet that makes your borders so much easier.
But my favorite now is combining everything. What can I do to have all the techniques?
Oh, these colors, Ellen.
Also, More curves. Absolutely love curved blocks.
Ah.
So
This is free motion in here, I can tell.
Yeah,
Free motion. She
Ooh.
did do a butterfly.
so that was with designer.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the butterfly I drew from scratch with designer. The little circles
Cool.
around it was carousel again, sort of little tool. This current border is all ruler work
Oh my gosh.
and all. So I want to find ways to now combine all the skills that I have
Ooh.
all with that.
So another thing that Ellen and I do, it doesn't happen all the time, but Ellen and I do get the opportunity to team quilt. And it is something as a long arm studio that gives us more ability to reach more customers, is that if she has a quilt, he or she has a quilt that needs custom on it, lots of times we'll both look at it and we'll know instinctively that
It's hers.
it's hers, or it's, yeah, like I know it needs free motion, but there's some pro stitcher on there that I could do, so we do them together. We do it together, we plan it together, and we'll quilt it together. We just did that for a client who had her quilt in a quilt show here locally, and she got a blue ribbon.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was a really great
Yeah, so I think
collaboration.
we're really being now specialized to be known for that. That if you have that quilt that really needs a special touch of multiple different things, is you go to MK Quilts. They can handle it.
They can do anything.
So we have one on the frame, and I'm going to bring this a little closer now. There's a bunch of piecing on here that you don't see, so I didn't draw out all of the piecing. But this is a quilt that it's in the double wedding ring style. It's called Chic
Picnic.
It's a curved quilt.
It's curves again.
But the customer brought us in a picture to be our jumping off point for inspiration. So we are going to do some double wedding ring blocks and a little bit with Pro Stitcher. I haven't decided if I'm here and Ellen's not. I'll probably do my straight lines with piano keys with Pro Stitcher. Ellen would probably just straight on ruler, all of that. But there's some curved spots around the double wedding ring blocks that Ellen is going to bring her curved rulers next week and do that. So it's again, it's another one where we can do it together. We've got it loaded on the Gallery 3 on the Pro Stitcher on the Infinity 28. So we've got the deepest amount of throat space. Ellen will have to do her ruler work up close
much closer.
much close to the
You
front.
can't do a ruler like this.
No.
It's not going to work.
Does not work.
Bring that part back closer to the front of the frame.
So we like doing that together, putting our heads together, and then
How
having it
do
be a
you-
really cool project that and here's the thing, if you're wanting to do this professionally, here's my best advice to you. If you are not a good free motion quilter, don't ever tell your client that you are. Oh, I can do that. Like if you really feel like you can't, and I was in that boat I'm still in that boat, okay? I don't do a lot of free motion. I'm not good at it. And I really don't have the desire to learn it. I'm just being honest. I love my Pro Stitcher. So if you are doing it professionally and you can't do something, refer it out. It does more for your reputation to know that that person can trust you to give them good information and send you to somebody that can do a good job on that, then you ruin it, or it's not what she expected, and then she's telling that, blabbing that to everybody. And that nobody wins in that situation. Okay, so just always be honest and refer it out, or refer it here to MK Quilts, and we'll have Ellen do it.
Yeah,
and we'll figure it out.
So, you're welcome to send us your quilts. Just let us know first.
How do you guys determine what your estimate is going to be for quilts? How do you quote people for free motion, Pro Stitcher, all of that?
It's always going to be based on starts and stops, just as if you were doing an edge to edge, just as if you were doing a border design. Is this a block by block? It's how many times are you starting and stopping? Are you changing threads? Do I need to change feet? It's looking at all the little details, because if we're doing more and more of that, well, then it's going to be a little bit higher priced.
So one of the things, like a baseline that I've always done to figure it out in our studio is our edge-to-edge designs. They clearly have price points, okay? Right. And we do calculate by square inches, and then certain amount of cents per square inch, whatever. When you start jumping into semi-custom or full custom, the very first thing that I did when I was like, okay, how do I price that differently, is I would start with, what if it was just an edge to edge, and what would the price point be for that? And then I came up with some calculation in my head to add on borders. If I was going to turn the quilt, then I had a turning fee. So I started with the edge to edge. I bumped that up either a price or point or two, jumped it up a little bit, and then I added on fees for borders if I was going to turn it. And that was a way to kind of feel like I have a calculation in mind, get myself to the next level. Then if we're doing something like, we have a double wedding ring coming in a couple of months probably. She just came in for kind of some advice and to look at things and how much would this cost. And you know, if you think about double wedding ring, it's all of those starts and stops. It's the block, it's the melons, it's the, you know,
the rings, it's the cornerstones, it's the side pieces.
So, you know, we had to tell her, okay, probably in this range. And here's the other thing that I'm not really big for telling people. Of course, when you come in to drop a quilt, I'm going to tell you when we're going to go through pricing. But I've never been a big one to tell you what my pricing structure is here at MK Quilts. And I don't not tell you because it's some big state secret. I don't tell you because I want you to figure out what your time is worth. Okay, as a long armor who's doing it professionally, don't undervalue yourself. You bought the machine, you pay the electric, you've gone and taken classes, you bought designs, you have put the time and money in. Now you deserve to be paid for that, for finishing. So it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm just going to go way under the next lady because then, you know, I'll get the business. If you do that, it's really hard then to raise your prices, and people are like, oh, well, gosh, you always did this. So fight really hard against doing that because it's value what you do. So I don't tell people in my classes and everything because I want you to come up with that calculation. What is your time worth? You know, there's some people that I've had in my classes, you know, we have the ability to do the stitch counts and stuff on our Pro Stitchers, on our machines too, without Pro Stitcher. I've had people keep like spreadsheets of how big was this quilt and how many stitches, you know, we have the stitch stats now, like how many bobbin changes did I have to do? What was my total amount of time? And then they've backed themselves into how they price. Okay, so that's just
a way.
It's a way, but my biggest piece of advice to you is don't undervalue what you do because people will pay. And that's the other thing that another little piece of advice is when I really jumped into doing more custom quilting and I would work up my quote, I would be like, oh, that's too much.
You get hesitant asking this amount from someone.
Yes, I would look at that price and I would be like, oh, I can't quote that. That's too much. And then I was like, well, she can say no, or she might say yes.
You know? The worst case scenario, she says no.
Yeah, and we can always adjust. We can always go down a little bit, but I started making myself look at that quote and be like, that's what I'm quoting. And either she'll say yes or she'll say no.
What would you say to quilters and like especially women who really have a hard time putting value to their time and really putting value to their work and like taking their work seriously in a way that is worth the money that it is?
Well, the first thing is, another thing that I tell people, when we sell machines, we always ask them, like, what is your purpose? Like, do you want to do this for a business? Is this just for you? Tell me about your space. How big can we go? You know, and we always want you to buy the biggest machine you can afford and you have space for, especially if you're going to do it professionally. So Forte, Amara 24 now, that's our best seller because of that big throat space for doing it professionally. But I also tell people, if you only want to dabble in this, like most of the time they'll say, I don't want to make this a job. I want to do it a little bit, but I don't want to make it a job. I said, well, then you have to be really concretely strong with your availability. If you only want to do this number of days a week, then you need to tell your potential clients, yes, I will do it. This is how much, and this is my turnaround. And if they're pushing you to do more than you want to do, you just have to be strong and saying, nope, I'm retired. I travel. I have my grandkids. I help raise my grandkids. You have to be protective of your time. Okay, so do what you want to do and be very firm about that. If you want to go sky's the limit, like her and I pretty much live and breathe this thing. We're doing it all the time, it seems.
We get to quilt every day. I mean, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, cooking is overrated, and I got a cleaning lady.
There you go.
It's like,
Yeah, my husband cooks.
You got quilting.
we got quilting to do. So if you really want to go for it, then go for it, right? Like, but again, always be honest with people about your true turnaround times. I really, you have to be honest with people about how long it's going to take. And if they're going to bring you a quilt and it's custom and it's going to take you a month or 6 weeks, then you need to tell them that, okay? Also going into that with the charges, we actually just recently within the last couple of years have rush charges and fees that, you know, like if you want it turned around in 2 weeks, you got to pay more for that. If you want it next on the frame, that's a big percentage more. I'll put it next on the frame for you, absolutely. But I'm not going to jump you in front of everybody else who's been waiting for 5 and 6 weeks without you paying more. Okay, I'm just not. That's not ethical.
No.
Okay? So those are other things that you have to think about, is what you're able and willing and able to do, and then be really stay in line with that.
And I think you're such a great example for people who are maybe doubting that there is money to be made in quilting, that there is a viable business in quilting, in wanting to do this. Like, you are successful. You have all of these things that you've worked, because you've worked very, very hard. But like, quilting itself as like an industry and as a profession is just as viable as many other options out there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a big blessing in both of our lives.
Yeah, we know that there's literally thousands of quilters out there. So as each new person comes to buy a machine that wants to do it as a business, you have plenty of quilters that will find you and then use you as your long arm resource.
Well, and the other side of that is, I, as a retailer, have never been protective against my long arm clients. In other words, if I have a long arm customer who's been coming to me for many years and I've been finishing her quilts and now she wants to get a machine, I'm never like, oh no, I'm going to lose that customer. I don't think that way.
Right.
I want her to be successful, or him. I want them to have the same excitement and opportunity to build a business as I did. So I'm never afraid to sell a machine to somebody who's going to go into business, even if they're around here locally. We've got some around here, and I know people go here, there, and the other place, and that's great. I'm happy for those other long armors, okay? So I don't want to be that long armor who's like, no, you know, I don't want you to buy a machine because you're mine. But that's really, I'm taking the opportunity away from that person to go after their dreams and their aspirations. So I would love all of my long arm customers to buy a machine.
More machines.
More machines. But I also want them to be successful. And you know, if you go back to my story, I told you when I bought that first machine how excited I was, but I also knew I didn't know a dang thing about it. Like, I didn't know what I didn't know. I was so excited, but I knew I had a pretty steep learning curve, but I had the desire. And a lot of people, when they come in to buy machines, we're in Florida, we have a lot of retirees here. That's just what Florida's known for. Oh, I'm too old to do that. And I'd be like, no, you're not. Don't say that. We're all young at heart, and quilting keeps us young. We have so much community that we build here that come in at any age and start quilting.
Yep.
Come in at any age and start long arming. Now we have this beautiful lift frame. If you've got some mobility issues, we can lower it down and you can sit and quilt, you know? So I want everybody to be successful no matter where they are on their journey. So there's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. And now that we're at about the hour mark, I think it might be a good time for Paul to swap in and start talking some like service and product and all this fun stuff.
Yes. Come on in, Paul. We're going to switch
Ellen
over the microphone. Ellen, make sure that Paul's in camera because he's tall.
He is a tall guy.
I want to turn this off. I'm the technical guy, and I'm having trouble with the magnet. This is going to be, there we go. I think that'll work. Okay.
There we go. We can hear you.
Technically, and since I do focus a lot on the machine sales, I want Melissa to step back and show what else is on this table over here.
Yes, please. Let's go.
No,
Yep.
I'm going to bring it over. Is this what you mean?
Yep, the Infinity 26.
She's reading your mind.
Okay, so my deal is there are a lot of people upgrading from the Infinity 26, and they're still very good quality machines. And so if you're not quite ready to make the big investment into the Infinity 28, you can get a really good deal on a 26 on the lift frame. And then when you're ready, you trade that in and you move up to the next one. So the thing that I like to tell people is you don't have to go all in. Even the Amara 24 now, I think Handi Quilters announced this to the public, is coming on the lift frame. Okay. So slight adjustment in the price, but so now you've got 3 machines you can grow through on the same frame, and you don't have to reinvest in the frame. So yeah,
I've your trade-in program, Paul.
So we do a trade-in right now. We've got a from a business aspect, the Amara 20s, the smaller machines, we'll give you cash up front on these trade-in machines. Give you off the machine. On the larger ones, because we have to assess them and things, we do it more on a consignment type basis where we might give you partial money up front, but because the turnover on the larger machines is a little longer than on the starter 20-inch Amaras or the Avant. The Avantes are what, 20 years old, and they're still selling. They're still in demand.
Yeah.
They have not gone down in price in 5 years. I mean, we're still selling them with Pro Stitcher between $10,000 and $12,000 on a frame. Okay, yep. That's a good starter system. If you're really going to do it as a business, we always encourage the largest frame, the largest throat depth you can do, because that makes you money. The fewer times you have to touch it, and the more you can do, it's definitely the thing. But regarding the sign and back, your machine's only as good as your retailer. I think what Melissa and I really got a passion for was the service side of things. We got into selling the machines sort of as an afterthought. I was going to do service, she was going to do training, and short version is, for us to get a discounted second machine, you guys made me become a retailer. Okay.
Sorry.
You think you'd be really good retailers, and I'm like, whoa, that sounds like sales. I'm not sure about that. But I think what makes us successful is my enthusiasm for the product. I mean, I've only ever owned a Handi Quilter, and I probably only ever will own a Handi Quilter. And my enthusiasm for the product and my love for Pro Stitcher sells the machine. And Paul being there on the back end to help you with whatever, it's such a good combination.
So I am a 30, okay.
Yes, give us your background, Paul. We don't know who you are. Tell us about Paul.
Okay, so I am a nerd, okay? Melissa married a nerd. I've got over 40 years of computer experience, which has really helped me. We do things with these tablets and remote support that 99% of the other retailers don't do. I hope Handi Quilter adopts some of our service things, because we use smartphones, we use Google Meet. I can do a remote diagnostic troubleshooting session with a person using their phone and be much more efficient. They're not paying for somebody to go out and deal with things. That's how we support nationally. And honestly, I've got customers in Australia. Okay, we support around the world. I've even needed a translator in Germany once. I think that was interesting.
We've had a couple, this was a couple years ago now, time flies, but we have people who follow us from Russia. She has an Infinity with Pro Stitcher in Russia, not a whole lot of support and whatnot over there, and they made a trip to the United States. It was really a huge deal for them, basically to come and see us and spend time with us. They do have some family here in the States, but Paul has perfected being able to help people where they are with their machine. And so anybody listening, we're not telling you this to take you away from your retailer. We're really not. we want, and Handi Quilter wants, all of us to be successful, and we want you to have good support locally. But if you don't, or there's just something that you can't figure out, reach out to Paul. He can help most of the time. Is there going to be fees for that if we're not your retailer? Yes,
Yeah,
there is. But you know what? Sometimes when you're stuck, I've been there. When you're stuck and you just need somebody.
So I started out as an electronic technician, got into engineering, avionics, troubleshooting. I will tell you, Handi Quilter probably hates to see some of the emails I send, the quality of things, and just because Ellen and Melissa, we burn in a lot of our machines, take them in here. They are so particular about the sound the machine makes, the hook and basket. I mean, that's the one thing that we've done differently, is that we've usually put these machines on the system, ran a quilt through them to make sure that they are truly, because we're shipping them across the country. I can't afford to fly to Washington State if something isn't set up right. So now the good thing is Handi Quilter's quality has greatly improved over the years. We are drop shipping these machines and going out and setting the large machines up. We just got back from Alabama with one of our favorite, well, I guess we can't have favorites. But
she's pretty high at the top of the list.
Yeah, I think she had more kits on her shelf.
Yeah, I posted about it last night when we got home, that Marie, her name is Marie, she lives in Alabama, we're in Florida, but it's the second machine she's bought from us. But outside of that, when we put something on sale or a kit up in the newsletter, blah, 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 Marie bought it. Marie bought it. And it was so nice when I got there, because I'm thinking, where are all of this stuff that she's bought from us going to be? Well, she has a lot of them finished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's been really finishing what she buys, now piecing what she buys, not quilting everything. So now she's got a brand new Infinity 28. She can get to work and get a lot of those finished. But it's one of those customers, as somebody who supports you like that, that's just gold. That's just gold to a shop owner and a retailer. We appreciate all of you so much when you support us.
If you're willing to drive to northern Alabama to pick up a machine, she has a pristine Infinity 26.
Anybody in Alabama or nearby?
It's worth
it's got
trailer
$1,700,000 $1,700,000 for an Infinity. You guys, you should be like checking her out right now.
Hello.
And I want to sell machines, but I'm just saying, she's got a good one.
Yeah, so sometimes if you're looking for a used machine, we tend to sell new frames with our used machines, but that's like a $2,000 cost.
Yeah.
If you can rent a U-Haul and spend a day to drive to pick up a full machine with the frame, you can get some real good deals out there. So I can vouch for her. She's a little bit clean freak, I think, because oh my goodness, I don't think she'd like me very much if she had
no specks of dust on this thing.
Oh no, it was nice. So and she's got enough room where she's got two 12-foot tables set up, but she'd like to get rid of one of them.
So the way that they reach out to Paul, if you need help, basically the email is support@mkquilts.com. Or Paul, tell them about your calendar system if they need help.
So check out our support page, because we have guides on there too. 90% of the questions I answer are in those guides, where we're constantly enhancing them. I'm getting an artificial intelligence now because I'm a nerd, but there's going to be some interesting enhancements. So I also have a machine owner technical training course. It's sort of like you can learn to use Pro Stitcher. You can learn to service your own machines, and this is in cooperation with Handi Quilter. Handi Quilter has given me permission. I'm still a certified tech, but I can provide training on how you can do timing and do other things, because sometimes, you can't take the big machine down, drive 3 hours, get service, and do that twice to get it back or whatever. So the other thing we do is I'm pretty sure I have more spare parts for all these machines than any other retailer. So I can overnight parts. I can get you working. So if you're doing this as a business, you really need to check into that, because it's almost like a service contract. I mean, if you do have an issue, or the button on your handlebar stops popping up for some reason,
Yep.
I can get you that part overnight and get on video with you, help you replace it. You know, you're not waiting 3 weeks for the technician to drive 3 hours and charge you $400.
Mhm.
So here's the other thing with Paul's MOT program, my university program.
Mhm.
What we know is that we have a lot of people on there who have bought their machines elsewhere, and we don't like snub our noses and say, oh, you didn't buy from us, we can't help you. First of all, let me just say, if there's retailers watching, I'm sure there is. We're not really here to be predatory in your territories and all of that. We would love to work with you, okay? We would love to let you sell your machines and bring your people in with us on the back side. Get them involved with us for training and support. We would love that. Don't fear us as the big evil MK Quilts that are in our territory. We're not wired that way. We want to work with you because we want these machine owners to be successful, okay? Yeah. And the other thing is like our philosophy is, if you will help support us a little bit, if you'll become a member on the university platform, if you'll take Paul's MOT program and you'll pay us for that, then we're going to turn around and help you some on the other side. You help me, I'll help you. Buy your machine local if that you got somebody good. We're not here trying to do that and take people away. We're here to help everybody. Would we love to sell you a machine? Yes, we're not going to lie. You saw our pin map. We sell them all over the place. So we'd love to do that, but we can help you regardless is the point and moral of the story, okay?
Absolutely. And I think that it's really wonderful that you guys are willing to reach out to the greater quilting community and make yourselves available, because sometimes you just need help. Sometimes you just need a part. Sometimes you just need something. And being able to go to someone who's friendly, who is enthusiastic, who's not going to make you feel dumb for asking a question, like, that's a big thing.
Well, and you know, as a retailer now, 10 years in, I kind of know it from a shop owner side now. Like, as retailers, we got a lot going on, okay?
Oh, absolutely.
We got a lot with the shop, with technical, with accounting, with employees, with classes. I mean, we've got a lot going on. And to throw machine sales in there and then have to support that at 100% high level every day of the week, that is a ton to add into a shop. We get it. So become a retailer, wonderful. If you have a shop, great. But if you need help on the technical back end side, is it going to cost you or your client? Yes, because we're not going to give our stuff away for free. We're just not. That's not good business.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But yeah, we're all up there about non-compete. If you've got a customer and you refer them to us for pro stitcher assistance, some sort of repair or whatever, we're not going to be marketing to that customer and taking them away. We have a fancy CRM tool where we can mark the owner of customers and things. And so I do hope in the future that I need hands in other states. So
Absolutely.
If you can just do timing, do the basics, but you're not the expert, and I'll tell you, you'll learn more from MOT than you will from the certification training that you get over the couple days at Handi Quilter. I'm just saying. I've been to the advanced training, but a lot of retailers don't. And to be quite honest, if you're only working repair on these machines once or twice a month,
it's a different level of experience.
There's a lot of skills and things, and you learn a lot from your mistakes. And over the 8+ years, I've made a lot of mistakes. So hopefully I can help you avoid doing the same thing.
Well, and you know, I would just want to say this too, and I don't, we all are looking for help in certain places, right? Social media is a great thing to help us stay connected in communities. But when you're new, you're going to have to get yourself some training somewhere. As retailers, we are bound by our agreements to give you a certain level of quilting, and we all want that. Some do more than others, and this, that, and the other thing. But you have to be willing to put some time and money into training. A Facebook group is great, but you're not going to get every question answered appropriately in there. Facebook groups can't teach you how to quilt. You got to put the time in. Okay, maybe this is my shameless plug for MK Quilts University. I mean, just come and learn. I've got beginner level stuff. I've got hundreds of videos there. When you're ready, you go out and you learn all kinds of things. But please please be open to, like I said, go take a class somewhere. If you can come to our event in the Villages, great. If you got a retailer having an event, go. You gotta invest the time and the money to get yourself to a level where you want to be. If you like virtual stuff, we got it going on.
Plenty
Okay.
virtual out there.
So I do want to comment though, because both my mod program every couple of weeks on Saturdays my time, but Paco's got her own live thing. There's a lot of live community things going on. We're not just an online video, play your videos and watch it. If you have a question as you're watching a video and you post a question within 24
right.
hours,
Yeah,
you know,
comes
it's
to
flagged.
me.
It's like a social media post, even though it's not Facebook, it's our own internal thing. We're real good at getting back. And so we're using technology, but it really is the people. And we have a lot of people. So I do want to say one more thing so that we can get back to the Villages event as well.
Oh,
If you
perfect.
bring your husband along, I'm going to be there all 4 days, but I won't be in the classroom. So I will have time to talk about maintenance and maybe even give a couple timing classes, a little training. I'll have the machines outside, out back. We might have to go out to the trailer, but I'm always willing to share my knowledge. And you don't have to be afraid of breaking these things. There's nothing you can do that I can't fix.
I'm holding up Paul's award because I'm so proud of him.
Oh,
There you
what
go.
does it say?
So this is Technical Support Excellence Award to MK Quilts for 2025. And this was presented to us from Handi Quilter when we were at Retailer Academy last year, because Paul has been committed to helping folks wherever you are. Let's just face it. These machines, the quality is good. I told you I'm 100% in for Handi Quilter. But things happen because it's a piece of
It's a piece of machinery.
It's a piece of
like your
machinery.
car.
It's software,
Exactly.
and things just happen. Okay, we're not, oh, they're bad and this doesn't work and I had an expanded battery. Let's just be positive and get your stuff fixed so that you can go on with your happy quilting. That is how Paul earned this, and this was from Handi Quilter. So you guys, we work very closely with Handi Quilter because we want you to be successful wherever you are. We don't want it to be the biggest paperweight you ever bought. Okay.
Gosh, no. Quick question in the comments for y'all. Is there a specific thread that you should use, MK? What would you throw out for the recommendation?
Okay, so my recommendation is use what you like and what your machine likes. My Ellen can come back in because she's got some other thoughts about that. So my experience with other long armors is everybody loves glide. If you like glide and your machine will take glide and you have it all, you know, tensioned up right and you like the Magna Glide bobbins, then use that. We don't use that here. We don't necessarily like it, and it's nothing against glide or any of y'all who like it.
No.
Okay, here in the studio, we use Omni primarily. Primarily Omni. Because here's my story as a beginner. When I was a beginner and I just bought my machine, I already had a big outlay of money. I just bought the machine and now I'm going to training and all this is costing money and money and money, and I was joining pattern clubs and oh my gosh, money. I bought Omni because of the size of the cone and the value. As a newbie, I didn't have a lot of extra money to spend. So I got started with Omni because my machines love it. It's a good value. I wind my own bobbins. We've got 2 of every color open on our wall, and that's just works for us here. Now, Ellen, on the other hand, she likes...
So we're still in the very much of the superior threads family. So I use So Fine, which is 50 weight. And with the 50 weight, it's going to be a little thinner as the quilting actually shows. So I find it's more of a balance between your patchwork and then your actual thread. And then I can still use the 50 weight for piecing as well. When I'm doing a lot more custom applique quilts, I'm going to switch to Superior's Micro Quilter, which is their 100 weight, and it mixes perfectly with the 50 weight. So it's just a really good balance of finding the perfect thread.
And also the way that I teach it, in your box that you get with your machine, you will get some little try me threads that Handi Quilter is throwing in there to get you started. The whole thing with Handi Quilter has always been, we want you to be able to set this thing up and be quilting by the time your installer leaves, okay? So try those threads that are in there. But really what I tell my newbies is find something that works for you and get yourself standardized, get your settings where everything's going fine. And then once you feel more comfortable and more confident, then you can try a sparkly thread or, a shiny thread or, whatever. When you're new and you're just getting that thing out of the box, it's not really the time to be trying every thread known to man.
No.
Just saying. Okay. Find something that works for you. Just stick with that for a while. And then honestly, you can pretty much run anything through there. It's just a matter of tension. You just have to not be, freaked out about tension.
All right, in our last 10-ish minutes, let's talk about the Village Extravaganza again and talk about some classes and what we're really jazzed about.
Yeah, so we actually had a couple calls for some people interested in the classes this event while you guys were gone this week. And someone had asked, said, I don't have a Handi Quilter. Can I still come? And we're like, yes, absolutely you can still come. And she signed up for the day of free motion and rulers this week, which was great. And then it got us into thinking of, well, you might not even have your Handi Quilter yet. This is the perfect idea to come and try one out as an actual full class to see I can learn technique. I could spend the software day and learn the software to really make sure that this is the one that I want to do.
Yes. And the other thing that I kind of wanted with this, and I worked with Handi Quilter and I worked with our educators, and that I really wanted the pro stitcher training that they're going to do to be not really what I do. I have my shirt on, I'm the MK way. I already told you that I do a lot with simulation. That's really not what this event is. This event is more learn pro stitcher, like basics and beyond, I think is what the class is called. But their take with pro stitcher, again, is going to be a little bit different take than I have. And that is so, so vitally important. So come out and take the pro stitcher. It's a full day. So morning and afternoon session is a full day. The free motion is one session.
Yep. The rulers is Wednesday morning. The free motion is Wednesday afternoon. The pro stitcher is all day Thursday. Again, Friday we're doing it more kind of fun project based. So Friday morning is a little project. Friday afternoon is how do you use all those different feet that you can.
And Nick had told, I think Nick is going to do the project class, and I think he's going to do some boxed bag little tote bag, box bag, something or other on the long arm. So you guys, I'm just going to say we have fantastic educational opportunities with Handi Quilter. I know all the educators were just out there in Utah. As I thought through who I wanted here in Florida, Christina, I've just seen the growth in her.
Oh, talent.
She's just fantastic at what she does. And as I watch her when she does her like lives and social media stuff, she's always thinking about things how can I do a t-shirt quilt on the long arm? How can I do couching? How can I do, she's thinking outside of the box. So I just thought it would be really great to have her here. Absolutely. Nick, I was not quite as familiar with Nick, but his enthusiasm, when I met him at Academy 2 summers ago, I'm like, he's just fun. He's going to make it fun. And he does pro stitcher and free motion. So he's kind of an Ellen that can teach you a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
When you're in his class. So I really plan I'm not teaching there. I'm going to be in the background. I'm not going to, be in the faces of the educators. They're the professionals. They're going to be there teaching. I'm going to be there if they need me. But it's going to be super, super fun. So I'm sure we'll go out in the evenings and do something. We'll go to dinner if you want to come with us. And that open house really on that Saturday when the teaching classes are done, that Handi Quilter is going to pack up. I don't know if they're staying an extra night or whatever. I don't know. But then we're going to bring in all of our equipment. And that open house is your opportunity. If you know anybody in the Villages, call them up and say, MK and Paul are going to be there. They're going to have all the machines. We'll have a Moxie XL there. We'll have an Amara 24. We'll have Amara 20. We'll have the Infinity 26, and we'll have the new 28. So you can really, what fits you, what fits your need, what fits your budget, what's going to fit your space. So we're really super excited for the first event that we've ever had with Handi Quilter. We're really trying to make it a big one and just a fun one. So come out, and we love meeting you all. I mean, we just love meeting the public and doing that kind of thing. So we'd love to see you there.
Can people come to one day, all the days? What would you recommend?
Yeah, they can do one class. They could do all 5 classes. It's completely up to you.
Oh, that's wonderful. And if they don't go to this class, where would they find education with you guys? Can they come to your shop, MK University? Tell us more about that.
So for sure, MK Quilts University is there all the time. I have been putting my feelers out for later this year to go and do some more sessions, but I really just want people to come to our Villages event. We haven't planned anything other in the way of that, just because we wanted to really focus and let Handi Quilter do their thing and get the educators in here and have a blast. But just keep watching. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, you can do that on our mkquilts.com page. If you want, we do have our own social media groups. We've got a group just for MK Quilts University on Facebook. I just created a new group for the Infinity. So if you're really thinking about Infinity, I have a group for that. And yes, everybody is welcome to our groups. If you didn't buy from us, it's fine. If you want kind of machine information that's not full-on content training, watch me on YouTube. I'm putting bits and pieces up there that I want everybody to know. If it's specific, like how'd you do that border and how did you connect that design with the other design and how do I do this and why is baseline not working here and la 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 la, then you got to join the university, because my stuff is for paying members. And my philosophy with that is I don't put a lot on YouTube anymore, because my specialty has value and I can't give it away. I can't control the monetization there. So come and join us on the university platform. You can try it for free for a week. It's $30 a month. There's $5 off coupon so for the first 6 months, it can be $25 a month. Here's what I will say about that. And I'm not, okay, maybe I am tooting
in here. What's this?
So
You're whispering?
Well, I just wanted to point out there is no risk. We have a cancel button.
Yes.
We're not like the stupid things where you got to call them and
fight your way to cancel.
I mean, literally under the profile unit, cancel at any time.
So a week for free. A week for free. It is a monthly subscription. Cancel anytime. But I have had more people tell me that the price of the monthly membership is worth it just for Q&A. Just for Q&A. They would pay just to have their questions answered like in real time. And then there's hundreds of other videos.
We have more.
Okay, so here, this is a monetary thing. We have a $130 an hour service fee. But if you are a member of any of our memberships, we give a 50% off our labor charges. Okay, so that'll pay for months and months of training here when you need the support.
If you have kids or grandkids that are always looking to get you something, that you've got everything, they know you're a quilter, have them buy you time on the university site. And I mean, if you get on there and within a few weeks, you're like, oh, those people are off. That was not true. I dare you, just reach out to us and tell us how awful we are then. But I'm going to tell you straight up, we have helped so many people just learn it. We want you to learn. And it's an option.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We are so excited. Tell people the dates again for the Villages Extravaganza.
Yep, April 8th through the 11th in the Villages. You can come to our website to learn more about the classes. If you go to mkquilts.com, you'll see a nice big button all about it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And we're so excited for this big event. And we cannot wait to see how much fun everybody has.
And thank you to Handi Quilter for being the best in the business. Thank you. Thank you,
guys.
Lily.
Thank you, everybody for tuning in. We're going to say goodbye and we hope to see you next time.